Hey, welcome everybody. We're back at last after a bit of a break, mostly down to the time difference. UK is now back back up to speed, having summertime clocks moving forward, so we're back in our favourite kind of time zone now. And yeah, we're going to do some live scalping as usual using our axe trading system. So welcome to the Mohawk Forex scalping team. And as we've just been watching on the news, obviously there's some good news coming out about Russia, Ukraine, and that made gold literally drop off a cliff, and stocks literally go up. Yep, we managed to catch some nice moves on gold on our axe trading system, our 3-minute time frame we use. So we're already in good profit today already, trading the London Open, and now we're going to trade the Open in about 7-8 minutes time. We've had a bit of medium impact news. The Schiller Home Index I usually look at, obviously at the moment this kind of news is irrelevant to what's going on in the markets. The consumer confidence, we'll have a look at that, see if that makes a move, and then we've got the JOLTS job openings. It's all leading up to our NFP Friday, which is going to be a real strange one, because obviously with all this news around with Russia, Ukraine, that's kind of taking precedent. The geopolitical scene is ruling over our normal economic calendar. So what we're trying to do, we're going to use our RSI to give us an idea of which way the market is going to be open. We're going to get in, get out, take some pips, take some wins, and then wait for the next news event to form, and then see. Usually we would go in kind of pre-open, like 1 minute before, but at the moment we're not doing that because obviously with all this news around we just don't know. US30 is pushed up. Is it going to push higher on the open, or is it going to be a market manipulation because everyone's assuming it's going to be a buy and the market's going to come down? This is what we don't know. We usually got a good idea, but at the moment don't. So we go with the RSI. Then with gold, everyone's going to assume this is going to sell off again on the open. could well do because of the better news. Gold will drop. Again, market manipulators, movers will want to take it higher to clear out people's stop losses. This is why we don't enter until we see the first move, and then we get in, take 2 or 3 trades, get out, and then wait to re-enter again. That's the technique at the moment on the true scalping scene. It's done well for us today so far. Using IC markets, which I think is best for scalping. Our leverage is 1 to 500. Let's see what we get on US30, and like I say, US30 is pretty high at the moment, 35217 level, but we're just looking to grab 10 pips on open, measure and see that retesting this
Let's regroup and talk about that last leg. I think that's the important piece around the
and if not, it's below our trend line, it's going to hit our baseline, so we're looking at it coming down to kind of this level if it's a sell, or bouncing up again. So again, we've got potentially 38 pips to the downside and about 15-20 to the top side there. Zone I'm going to be setting. Again, I'm not doing pending orders. You do get caught out. I'm going to wait and see where the candle is going to move to. Enter in there. RSI is saying we're bullish. Got a buy in on here. Broke a buy back in first level of an overbought zone, and then we're waiting in no man's land, a range. In the RSI is between our average, our overbought. We don't do anything. So our daily calendar is saying strong bullish momentum at the moment. Bullish but falling. Momentum is dropped out. We had that spike due to the news. And like I say, gold took a massive ditch as well, as you can see. We bought some of this here. The news was announced that Russia might be pulling back from Kiev, and there's going to be talks possibly between the two leaders. This is what this was, a bit of consolidation the opposite way, and then it continued on down. So like I say, with the opens, there's a lot of manipulation. It doesn't always go straight the way we want to do it. Buy and sell. Like I say, we've got 34 minutes to the consumer confidence news results, whammy together, and that's it. I say we're just going to trade. Try and do these trades for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour maximum, either side of London and New York. That's all you need to do to get what you need to get out of the market at the moment. So our economic calendar has been kind of pushed to one side while all this news is going on. It's like the German, the consumer confidence was bad, but it was a buy. It went up, it didn't go down, you know, same as the French one. So yeah, you just got to ignore this. Once markets settle down, if the Ukraine war comes to an end, hopefully soon, things will go back to normal and price action will start respecting the calendar more accurately than it does now. So we've got about 4 minutes to go till the open. We'll watch US30. We're going to go in on US30, I think, today.
5 minutes away from the opening bell, a constructive tone between Russia and Ukraine sending equities higher. That's the price action here at the morning calls. First
so there we go.
Deutsche Bank downgrading CVS to hold 110 price target, pointing to the stock's negative risk-reward profile amid rising risks. Morgan Stanley downgrading Pinterest to equal weight, $30 price target, seeing multiple headwinds, creating too much uncertainty. And finally, Argus upgrading AutoZone to buy, highlighting multiple near-term growth drivers. That stock negative 0.4%. Up next, Apple on track for its longest winning streak in almost 2 decades. That conversation up next.
When you think space, you probably think one space agency that travels under the radar is ESA, which is surprising considering what the European Space Agency has achieved and how
Oh, see,
vital it is to the global
and why it's pushing up nicely. US30.
We've collaborated with pretty
Got
much
about 30 seconds to go.
involved in space
There we
exploration.
go, pushing up.
But ESA wants to be a leading force in furthering
If we get some
humanity's mission
back off, this is
into
going to push
space.
higher. RSI is going into our zone, so high.
If we want to have successful human missions to Mars, we are going to have to learn to live and work off-world in a different way. The place where we are going to learn to do that is on the moon.
Can ESA help humanity take its next giant leap?
If it's
Access the financial world on demand. Hear from leading
Nicely.
economists, policymakers,
one position closed.
industry experts via live and on-demand webinars, only from Bloomberg. Start exploring to see what's moving the markets.
Beautiful. Nice $100.
Visit Bloomberg.com.
Put in on the RSI. Very nice indeed.
Why do the biggest names in business choose Bloomberg?
That is a great question.
It's a great question.
Tech,
Great question.
30, both going really well.
Question.
That's going to be the best
Nas.
question I get all night.
Glad you asked that. Bloomberg Television. Top experts. Great questions.
I think that it's hard to put your head around any narrative. Let's just be
Bit
honest.
$200
We've had sort
up
of a
on
shift
Nas.
Are we in some sort of
That'll actually
stagflation
now.
fears moment? People were talking about that all day yesterday.
24 seconds away from the opening bow this morning. Good morning. This is what we
Already
wanted
in,
to
we're
hear.
already
A
in.
constructive tone from both Russia and the Ukraine coming out of talks in Turkey, and those talks will continue into this evening and into tonight potentially as well.
Buys,
Off the
look, as
back
you
of
can
that,
see,
equity futures elevated
buys on
the
NAS
S&P
as
by
well.
9
Look,
cents
nice
at
spike up.
1% after a
US30 is
three-day
the
winning streak. Can
strongest
we make
one.
it 4? Switch on the board and get to the commodity market. A break of 100 on crude. 99.55, down 6 percentage points off the back of this story. A dollar that's weaker, a euro that's stronger, unlocking
Let's
the
see if it's pushed
conversation
up.
about
RSI 83. Once it gets to that 85 level, I usually look to take sells in the opposite direction.
27. And if you can
See.
explain this one for me, go ahead. There's got to be a head scratcher in the mix as
We're
well.
up
hasn't there?
again.
242 on 10. Yields in
We're out
4
again,
basis
3 more
points.
trades.
For some reason, a
We
bid
got
back into treasuries off the back
£35.20, another
of all of
$100
this.
there.
That's the cross-asset price action with 8/10 of
There you go,
1%
with
in
a
the open,
week's
about 30
wage,
seconds in.
about
Energy,
30
as you would
seconds,
expect, is lagging
scalping.
down 1.3%. Consumer discretionary
Perfect.
up by 1.2%. With your movers, here's Abby.
John, well, on this very strong start for stocks this morning, it's a broad-based rally on this optimism over
So US30 and NAS both
one of the top
performed as
leaders,
they
up
should
0.9%,
be expected they
really
might.
helping out that tech
Beautiful
sector.
open.
Interestingly, even though yields are down just slightly, banks
Group,
higher.
so they can
One example, up
see the
1.8%.
results.
American Airlines up 4.1%. This, of course, is
See the
job
stocks are up,
trade
look,
rebound.
intraday.
We
So
thought
look
that
at gold.
between these two countries could help
Gold.
international travel. And then
Yeah, just
finally,
ranged
the
around a
gold
little
was
bit.
also
Look,
in
manipulation,
up
but let's see if it's going to drop. As you
very
can see
broad-based
here,
rally.
looks like it's going to be a
Yields
sell on
energy is that
gold,
last
which you'd
sector.
expect.
Thank you.
Market
The one name to watch
down.
is Apple. Through yesterday's close, a 10-day winning streak. That was the longest winning streak since 2010 for this single name.
So in total on that open there, we got 100. We got about $250 on that open in 2 minutes of trading. So not using crazy lot sizes or a big account size. That's just how to use this axe trading system. We follow the RSI, as you can see. Look at that spike, beautiful.
Stunning rally.
Good morning, John.
We're on heavy resistance now, so we're getting a push down. Once the RSI gets to 85 level, then we look to take sells on the way back down. And don't re-enter buys at this high level. Usually take them at 75. Now it's going to go up, but again, heavy resistance. Wait for the pullback. This is where we know there's going to be sales coming.
Since 2003,
Gold. Let's go try and push down a bit more. I might just enter sell on.
If we close higher on Thursday, which would be 13 consecutive days of gains, then it would be the longest winning streak in history.
See if that pushes down.
Right? You see analysts boosting earnings estimates by around 7% for the year for
Yeah,
Apple.
brilliant. Okay, what do we get on gold there? There we got $25. $25 on gold in just 10 seconds. Was that? What it's all about. True scalping.
What stops this stock? There is a warning in this chart, John, because of course
Looks like again gold still wants to push down. It's going to bounce off our average line here. We have to be careful of that.
We also have yields at 2.5%, right?
Sorry.
Benchmark 10-year Treasury. Apple
Looks
is
like it's
immune from the conversation around higher rates discounting the present value.
we're in again and we're out again on gold. What do we get there? Two more trades away. We got 36 and 25. So we got nearly $80 there. We just bagged 100 on gold. It'll 1 minute.
There seems to be this move into quality and growth names. I talked about Amazon
Again, so you got to do it.
leader of the mega caps, up 2.5% so far in 2022.
That little move.
Seems to be on the back of their own
We're trying to
stocks,
scalp.
right, which is
We're
given
looking for a reversal.
maybe to look at
We're looking for
Amazon's
US30 to pull off this. It's here, look, 87.
so close, John. But
Again,
it's really
dangerous
interesting
to take
that
the sell now because of the news. Like, it's not what I mean. Normal environment. We're loading sells in. We just want to wait. See a little curl.
You telling me that's just about a stock split?
A massive account, obviously you could try and risk it, but you could go high. This could go to the extension. Risk your account. New highs. Look at the move. Just zoom out on the axe. We're expecting a correction.
Based on recent earnings from prior quarters to save the day. It is a
Moment still bullish.
What's really interesting
87%.
is that there's
Same as
confidence
gold.
on
Look,
the
look.
street. Even with everything that's
Drop.
going on in the world of consumer,
The heavy support zone. You want to be out before it hits that support zone. Yeah.
For companies, Amazon still seems to be able to grow that top and bottom line.
Ed Ludlow, thank you. Ed, looking forward to the coverage for the next couple of weeks. What a rally we've seen in these big names. Ella Hodger, I want to come to you on that,
And look,
actually. Just the movements we've seen in Apple, in Amazon,
top
off the
of it.
lows, in Tesla as well. What do you think's behind all of that?
Again there.
The relief, I
Over $10. 10 seconds, $10. That'll do me. Just watching the price action of that candle. That's all I'm doing. I'm not doing anything amazing other than watching price action.
Which is a little different to bond markets, I suppose, is one where growth
We're going
is
to go back
okay.
on US30 in a
As you see the beginning of tightening
30. Or is it running out of steam? Is it time?
Equities tend to do okay. So despite all the rhetoric that
Okay,
you hear on the 2/10 US Treasuries curve flattening, historically speaking, equities have performed well on that. So it's much more
See if we get anything on the
idea that
pullback.
we're not in a late stage of the cycle, right? So it depends which school you sit with. So if you're in the late stage school, then probably this should be the last innings of the move, and you know the volatility that we see.
We're away. Yes, 2 sales on US30. Thank you. We got $80. $80 on that little move there. We're in and out again.
Flattening. But really, there's a bit of a dichotomy there going on between what bond markets are saying and what equity markets are saying at the moment. So equities are playing with a hope, and
This is how you do it.
and bonds are getting more worried.
Just using the RSI 75 coming out of that zone. There's a chance it can pop back in, so we need to wait. But again, we've got a chance of 28 pips on downside, pushing back up, rejecting out of the zone. Going to hang on.
Is a notable positive correlation to S&P 500 earnings.
So far, we're the best part of $300, $400 up.
Earnings growth drivers as the key to equity market
We've
performance
done
in the intermediate
1, 2,
term. So, Sri, let's pick up on that dynamic of earnings. For you,
14 trades, 14 positions on the open, and we've only been trading literally 7 minutes. This is what I love about this system.
We do think that the outlook is weaker. And more specifically, when we look at the nature of the earnings revisions that have come through, the point that Mike has been making in recent weeks has been, well, you've seen the downward revision come through in the near quarter earnings, but obviously some payback in the later quarter earnings. That's typically not a healthy sign. That kind of resonates almost with the transient inflation narrative, where we're saying, well, it's going to be bad for the near term, but then it improves very meaningfully. We're not in that camp.
RSI again, look, just rejected.
The bond market signaling recession risk.
We've got to wait. What is this? When you get down to 75 level, it likes to pop back up. Still wants to be pushing down, look.
How would you price that through credit, Sri?
Don't want to be greedy.
Decompression is what we want to see within the credit markets. What's been most surprising?
We're in and out again. We're in and out again. We've done it again. We're in and out. Sell. Got 54 and 39, so we've got $125 there on that drop, and the RSI came up to 71. So we're smashing it in now.
Should really trigger a bit more of concerns around the lower quality portions of the market, where the sensitivity to earnings is going to be higher, and at the same time the impact of higher rates is also going to be more meaningful. So that's,
well, for me, that's it, all done, because that's $500 in about 8 minutes trading. So yeah, I'm just going to have a coffee and watch now. RSI is coming into the no man's zone, you know, which I never like. If it goes back into the 75, we'll take a buy. Drop in 65, you see, it's going to bounce off some support. Now we just wait. It was so good to see how we just did that, and how set the zone there as the buy zone. As soon as it broke, we were in on the buy. Gold is ranging around. Look, see, we did well to get out of that one. Gold is the real unpredictable one right now. Well, got a heavy support zone down here. RSI is above our average. We want that to come down really before we get in on that. I'm just going to post up.
So arguably, yeah, I mean, to some extent, the sector mix
open.
The high yield market. If we
see
come off the boil with respect to
all the results and setups posted in the group. That's what you get when you join.
Duration, higher quality pockets within high yield are probably going to hold up better.
I just quickly brought up the research from over the weekend from Mike Wilson over at Morgan Stanley, and Aaron Cannon, I'd love your view on it too. Markets priced for a tighter Fed, but not for growth risks. The view of Mike: we're downgrading financials to neutral, given a more late cycle view and forecast for a full inversion of the yield curve in 2Q. 2Q starts this week into next week. Financials will have a hard time outperforming. That's the view from Mike. And let's go with the first line, Aaron. Markets priced for a tighter Fed, but not for the growth risks. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I think it does, and that's sort of our base case, in fact, which is, you know, the flattening of the yield curve historically augurs or tends to be a signal of heightened recessionary
Gold is going to drop, or looks like it's going to form a nice little W pattern. That US30 told you, just ranging around a little bit now.
And that we may, in fact, experience not a soft landing, but something between a hard and a soft landing, and may just, in fact, avoid that recessionary concern. But I have to go back to the reality that we have.
Watch the RSI.
You know, our savings rate is lower.
RSI goes red under our average line to the neutral zone, and obviously we're in for a sell now. Otherwise, we're going to see US30 bounce off our trend line and go higher. We're on this heavy resistance zone. Like I say, we've done about 18 trades there and 4 winners, so that will do me quite nicely.
And that the Fed is going to, you know, clearly hike rates and hike rates in somewhat aggressively.
Going to wait.
I think as we move into the back half of this year, as a result of that,
see about this news that's going to be approaching. Got 18 minutes to consumer confidence news and the JOLTS job openings. See, like I said, we're not going to enter as we're going to just wait for the first movement on price action, where usually we'd go with the result. Obviously, at the moment, the Russia-Ukraine news, the optimism. Saying on here, look, you can see this is what everyone's, why we're bullish at the moment on the NAS, US30, Dow Jones, 500 if you trade that.
And we'll have to see how all that plays out, Jonathan.
I'm humbled every day by markets, Aaron. You're not alone. Aaron Cannon there, alongside Ella Hodja and Sri Sankaran as well. About 11 minutes into this, equities up by 0.8%. Energy pulling back, down by 2.9%, now down by 3 percentage points. As
that's just a slight correction.
Back, a break of 100,
not worth it, not worth the risk.
Morning on WTI, as we had a breakthrough of sorts between Ukraine and Russia in talks in Turkey, and those talks will continue.
NAS would have been a good one. This is what you want to see for a sell. Look at that, perfect. NAS, but now it's on our neutral support zone, so you want to leave it alone while it breaks this. So if it breaks this neutral support, then we're coming down to this next key level. At the moment, this is a danger trade where you don't just rush in. Let's see some red on the RSI, and then we can, as we did here, look, get in. Get in there for like, you know, some pips. Going to break the zone, or is it going to bounce up? But you got to think. I always look at the worst case scenario. That's the way to do it, to be safe. Have a quick look at oil. like scalping oil as well. Also, pulled back, prices are going to drop on oil, of course, if there is some kind of optimism on the Russia-Ukraine. Obviously, the worries about oil and supply and stuff, so price will come already back down to that $100 barrel level. If it breaks this heavy support, we're coming down. At the moment, it's risky to take a buy or a sell really on any of that. If US30 is going to bounce off our trend line. Gold, danger at the moment. Take a sell. We want it to, the RSI did come out. Our average, it's been averaging. Wants to push it down. Use, sell. Price action, rejection of one of them candles. Below our baselines, below our neutral resistance.
Y ya hemos detectado reducciones medias en el área metropolitana
Jumping
de
it
0,8 grados aproximadamente.
Let's really want to wait now for the
Y con
news.
picos máximos de 4 grados de disminución en un momento
See here.
puntual del día, en una zona puntual del día.
On
Y como
consumer
dices,
confidence,
en una ciudad como Barcelona funciona
openings.
incluso mejor que las zonas verdes.
Bring up, and that's the end of our news for today, really, apart from keeping an eye on Russia. Usually I would trade the API crude oil, obviously later on the UK time, but not at the moment. Like I say, oil's only going to go one way, and that's down. News is good.
Lots happening on Wall Street.
It's the basic law of
30, as I said, look, bounce, beautiful off our baseline, off our trend line. Wants to push back up. RSI 72. If it gets that 75 level, breaks his level. And go in again. We've got potential for 40 pips. Red.
And that's the way you run good risk management.
We need to invest.
Not going to hold that long, of course. You know me.
Wall Street Week premieres Friday with replays
Rejecting.
all
It's going to
weekend on
rejecting. Look off
Bloomberg
the level.
Television and Radio.
Got 1 minute 40 on this candle. Gold still ranging. Which way? We don't know on this. Indecision.
A firefighter and a teacher pay more than double the tax rate that a billionaire pays. That's not right. That's not fair. And my budget contains a billionaire minimum
pushing
tax
up.
because of that.
The President of the United States there. Happening right now, Secretary Blinken in a news conference alongside his Moroccan counterpart.
It's right on heavy resistance. Dangerous to take a trade, tempting as it is. But you've got to sit on your hands. Our axe trading system, it respects these levels. 2 levels of resistance here.
Talking up the prospect of
We're going to see the RSI pop up, and then
in and around Ukraine's capital. The dates for the
change
next
around,
talks,
come
not made just yet. This is what we hear
So
from
we get the
source
news.
close to the Russian
We've
delegation
got
commenting on these Ukraine talks.
12
No
minutes to
date
go.
or place set yet for the next round.
Yeah, there's the
of
rejection, look.
Russian-Ukraine talks. The delegation is leaving Istanbul now after those talks with Ukraine earlier today in Turkey. When we get the headlines from Secretary Blinken, of course, if they're pertinent, if they speak to this story.
gold now deciding to push up, you see. Here you go.
President Biden, his
A
multi-trillion
little bit of
budget
a
proposal running into
move
opposition
against the
from Peace Senator Joe
trend.
Manchin, calling the tax on
Again,
unrealized
it's already
capital
gone up
gains, quote,
200 points. So
you can't be taxed on things you don't have. There are other ways for people to pay.
a nice little buy on gold.
Bloomberg's Joe Matthew joins us now from Washington with more. And Joe, I asked this of you this morning, and it's important. Do they want to make policy, or do they want something?
Pips, 50 pips is all you want to go for.
Well, it's feeling a lot more like the latter, Jonathan, simply because we've already done this. With regard to the tax on unrealized gains, that was part of the Build Back Better plan that never got its way through Congress late last
Get
year.
him done. Yay. I got another $20 just on that move on gold there. Broker didn't close quick enough. I actually should have got more, about 40, but hey, doesn't matter.
Also has problems with
Quick
this
buy.
report. Even the chair of the House Ways and Means
Gold.
Committee, Richard Neal, prefers a different approach when it comes to taxing
Small wins is what it's all about. Consistent.
to families, households.
Again, I don't want to hold gold that's going to hit this level here in case it doesn't make it. RSI needs to be green. Let's see some green and we can go back in.
One of the hallmarks of this budget, as the president outlined yesterday, was the fact that it was going to reduce the deficit. It would lower deficit spending by $1 trillion.
30s check back. I said, look, see it rejected. Now push up again. Full rejection. RSI. We need to wait for red before we enter sells. Again, just hold fire.
When the director of OMB testifies
Break this zone.
So here we go.
See a nice red, just like here. Look.
As we all know about American budgets coming out of the White House that never actually see the light of day. Here's another one. What I don't understand though is if you want to get something done, why aren't we having a conversation with Senator Manchin saying what can we do? Because most people agree.
Gold up, US30 down is kind of the market's trying to say, but in manipulation against all the news, but that's good.
And your own Democratic senator won't agree on, doesn't get anything done.
Well, maybe you're getting a little bit closer to your first question, which is no one actually thinks it's going to
We've got two more trades on gold there. We went in on the buy. We got £25. That's about $32. $32 there.
It's a laundry list. It's what we believe.
Again, just following the RSI, not taking any stupid risks.
The White House knows all too well that this will
As we're getting some green, covering my spreads, covering my commission, I'm out.
Before this ever becomes a law. Reminding you, we just passed
Cheeky buys, I call these cheeky trades. True scalping.
That we're now operating under. This is halfway through the fiscal year. So if we think this is going to get done before the next fiscal year, that in itself would be an achievement. After that, about a month later,
again, we've been red for so long, so any green is going to give us some kind of momentum. Got to watch the level. Careful of that level. Pushes up, you can go again. Get out of the neutral distance.
We've been watching Apple, a 10-day winning streak.
Here's the news up coming up.
And now that 11-day
Consumer confidence and jolts, which is obviously gold.
Stock right now up by more than 1%.
There's 30, see, pushing down. Got a rejection on the line, so
for a look at some of the names
hold tight on that.
With President Biden's budget request, let's get to Taylor Riggs. Hey, Taylor.
John, I just wanted to debate with you instead some of the unrealized gains and how we do mark-to-market accounting on that. But we'll save that for another day. Let's take a look at some of the movers, of course, on the back of some of those budget proposals. I want to first start with some of the biggest increases, right? On sort of a year-over-year basis, we've talked a lot about defense spending on the back of some of the comments about Russia and Ukraine. On the domestic front, a big 32%
gold pushing up nicely, look.
Some of the veterans affairs,
RSI 62.
$82 billion, a 27% jump for health and
Going to reject off this level, remember. Neutral resistance, our neutral. Our daily pivot, remember, for a price action. Nice little W pattern forming. So just, for me, I want to see it into that 70. I want to go and see it break this level. Reject.
When you think about sort of the inflationary impacts on this sector, Northrop Grumman going to be a big one here. A new B.
Also, check out, we've had is the last signal, which was a win. You follow these signals that the Axe trading system provides. They're accurate, very accurate. No full signal yet. We've got alerts set. That's what you want to see, really, to be uber confident. If you had a bull signal here, look, obviously there's another winner. The bear signal. And then the news obviously kicking in. This is just a bit of correction. Market down again. It's hitting our neutral resistance.
Do the accounting thing now.
Maybe in the commercial break.
In a commercial break. I look forward to getting your personal views.
And then do I get like an unrealized rebate if there's losses?
I have no idea how this is meant to work. But isn't that the point, Taylor? It doesn't get done. You talk about doing something. You please someone. You don't make policy. Politics. It frustrates us both. I know. Taylor Riggs, thank you. Looking forward to the commercial break with Taylor. just moments away. Before we get there, let's get you some sector price action with Abby.
Oh, back up.
John, well, with the S&P 500 up for a fourth day in a row, up about 0.7% right now. Not surprisingly, most sectors are higher, being led at this point by consumer discretionary, up 1.2%. Think Tesla, Amazon, and the like. Technology right behind it, up 1.1%. NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, communication services also higher. Think Facebook, Google, and Twitter. On the bottom, not surprisingly, it is energy. So there's a risk-on mood here on these, the optimism around the possibility of the Russia-Ukraine talks. There's also optimism for the travel trade. Airlines, similar to so many individual stocks, now higher on the year, up about 5%. And it's interesting, John, at this point, the S&P 500 up more than 12% from its February low, and now down just 4% below from its all-time peak. Let's see, are we going to put another all-time high? It seems as though that risk-on mood is here.
Abby, thank you very much. Just
it looks like it's going to be.
Market price action too. 10-year yields in Germany just fading a bit, still up 4 basis points. Let's call it.
They're on about all-time highs as we're watching US30 pull back. You see, this is the whole thing about the next trading system. You see things as under the microscope. The bigger picture, yes, has been up, but now we're seeing these corrections that we want to trade. RSI is coming down. A sell. Support zone is broken. Same time, gold.
And now yields are lower
up
across
here.
the curve,
Nicely.
lower on 10s than they are on 2s, so you can do the maths quickly. The curve is flatter and the spread's still narrower, so the curve is still in single digits on 2s, 10s, 6 basis points.
Out on
the two right now. That's the bottom
gold
market.
again,
Let's get you
beautiful.
to your trading diary on a better day.
With a nice wick.
Ukraine-Russia talks and a better day for this equity market.
30.
From New York, this is Bloomberg.
Brilliant. Trade on that as well. Perfect. So we got a sell on US30 that was £21, and we got another $120 on gold on the buy. Perfect. Nice act. Straight in. No messing around. As soon as you see that move, you need to get in. This is how I use the trading system. I saw it break the neutral support, so I went in there and look, I got, you know, I could have held longer, but I'm getting $100. Why would you want to just mess around? I can see the level it's going to reject from. RSI needs to be 75 now to go back in. It's 30. Grey zone, that's why I took the sell. Comes out red here. We're coming down to our key level baseline of points of it. So is it going to reject off here?
Inflation is a terrible thing. Inflation you could tolerate.
Kathy Wood.
Side on grey for the first time in what, 2 hours, 3 hours. Bullish all the way. Long bear 53%.
Bloomberg Television and Bloomberg.com. Front row.
That's correction.
The best seats in the house for business's greatest minds.
Down. I'm out again. Brilliant. Did it. Put it on that, and I got 36. I got $50. Another $50 on US30.
I think what we've seen during this period of time is that communicating via video is not a fad. We are using it in all aspects of our lives, for work, for learning, for communicating, for staying in touch.
Again, saw that gap. Usually when you get the rejection of the rejection up, the candle will like to come back and fill that wick. On the hack and ash is talking about, obviously. That's how I see it. RSI is going to mess around now.
It's what we all want to see. An improvement between Ukraine and Russia in talks. Will it stick? And can we verify that pullback that the Russians are promising at the moment? The talks will continue on a date yet to be decided, but a constructive tone lifts this equity market on the S&P 4600, on the S&P 500, advancing about 0.7%. Outperformance on the small caps, the Nasdaq up about 1 full percentage point. That's the price action. Here's your trading diary. The President of the United States holding a news conference with the Prime Minister of Singapore at 12:45 Eastern. More Fed speak, Harker, Bostic later this afternoon. More data coming up on Wednesday and Thursday too, with initial jobless claims just around the corner. And on Friday, it is Payrolls Friday. The estimate so far, 490K. For the month of March. From New York, this was the countdown to the open. Thank you for choosing Bloomberg TV. This
Jonathan,
is
thank you.
Bloomberg.
See, this is what I mean. You see these key levels, the points of interest that get respected. You could be holding a sell here and you might get something, but also we have a chance of the RSI in the neutral zone reversing on us. That's why it's the neutral zone. It means it doesn't know which way it's going to go. The momentum is to the down, of course. We're neutral, so wait. Gold, beautiful. Broke. It's now on our neutral support. See how it changes from resistance to support. Now you've got your resistance level. RSI backed off, hitting the 75 where I could have gone back in again. Really, we're just waiting for the news now. The jobs, consumer confidence. And traditionally, like I say, gold will go the reverse of the news. US30 should go with it. But that is not guaranteed by any shake of the stick at the moment, obviously, so we'll just wait just to move. We're done, so what, 2 minutes to go? Say we've done about 24 trades, all green.
Now, they're getting hundreds, maybe even thousands of applications. So software has come in to automate the process.
Great scalping.
You want to write your resume for robots, not for humans. The only job your resume has is to be comprehensible to the software that is reading it, because that software or robot is going to decide whether
30.
a human ever gets
So close to this news event. Now let's count down. Got 1 minute to go. Good luck, everybody. Let's see what happens. Obviously, consumer confidence, you know, higher, expected, lower. No, it's the usual way. No great shakes how to read it. Same as the jobs as well. Job.
We don't trust companies to self-regulate when it comes to pollution.
Looking for 11 million. So going to be on the downside. This job open. Or could be a buy, further buy. 30 would be a sell. See, interesting times. 19 seconds, ready. It's interesting to see what these are. How quickly they come out as well, of course. Consumer confidence is better than expected. Excellent. 107.2. Jump in, we'll wait. Let's hope the job opening. Oh. Yep, man, they are. So everything's the same way. See if we get sells and buys. Gonna go 30.
Mainly because of a human error that led Pepsi to print more winning caps than they planned. The resulting chaos caused riots, civil unrest, and even deaths. Reporting this story took over a year, and it resulted in me flying to Manila in the Philippines to meet unlucky winners and to find out exactly what happened back then in the 1990s. My name is Jeff Maish. I'm a journalist based in Los Angeles.
On gold, we took on gold. We got 35. We've got $50 there. $50 on that news. Bought gold.
Interesting country. It's made up of thousands of islands.
Being.
It's also a country that's very heavily influenced by America.
Wait. Let's see.
Where you look in the Philippines, they're obsessed
Sell on gold now.
They love all things America, and that
2 buys on gold.
Coca-Cola. In the 1990s, it was everywhere.
Go. That's it. Perfect.
Pepsi and Coca-Cola were embroiled in what is now known as the Cola Wars. It was a fierce battle for market dominance. Number Fever was already a
All
really
back.
popular promotion.
Thought we wanted.
Rolled out in America to great success.
Avoided the manipulation.
Pepsi decided to
30.
roll it out internationally, particularly in Asia. They thought it was the answer to their problems. They thought it could finally help
Sell on
them
US30 now. down. See? Done. Yay. 2 sells on US30. Brilliant. Went the opposite way, you see. Again, usually would have gone the other way. We've got $50 on that. But as you can see, this is the manipulation in the market. You would have thought the news is better than expected. Therefore, as I said before, US30 would be traditionally be a buy and gold would be a sell. The markets are so screwed at the moment, everything's going reverse. So what you do is wait for the signal. And where do you get the signal from? RX trading system, RSI, tells us that it was going the reverse. So that's why we don't preempt or enter trades now straight away. We wait for the news results to come out and then watch the movement on the candles RSI. And we got that bagged on. Perfect. That is how you scalp in 30 minutes from the open. And like I say, you have how many trades I've taken. About 30 odd trades. Post to my group.
Maids were being jailed for stealing their employers' winning bottle caps. There was even some murders over winning bottle caps. People were fighting in the streets over these caps. There were signs that there were going to be problems with number fever very early. Pepsi had rolled out a competition in Chile, and a garbled fax had caused some kind of problem with the winning number. They'd announced the wrong one in Chile, causing riots. There were signs that there could be big problems ahead
if you trade
they didn't get their eye on the ball. So in 1992, Pepsi decided to extend the campaign in the Philippines, and they announced that the competition would go on for a few more weeks. One night, on the television news, they announced
we back test we
the
can
latest
see.
winning number, 349.
Tumor.
The problem was 349 had already
Now eventually it will go up, don't get me wrong, it will follow the way of the news, but the market is already been in a massive big bull run. It wants to clear out it wants to clear out some people trades, stop losses, whichever, as you know, a lot of people, ourselves included, would have previously gone for the buys and would have just taken a loss. We know how the market works. This is what we educate and teach in the group. Markets manipulate.
They were millionaires. It's still not certain exactly how many winners there were of lucky 349 bottle caps, but we know that Pepsi printed over 600,000.
Pull back.
Pepsi realised very early that there was a problem. Hundreds of people started arriving at their bottling plants with their lucky bottle caps.
News.
They realised something.
That's it. There's always a correction. No matter how good something is, how bad anything, if the war ended now, gold, whatever, oil, there's always corrections the opposite direction, even if it's minor. Like I said, on this now, we could see a little push up, a neutral and a buy. And you can say, hey, consumer confidence, actually, yeah, but it's already cleared you out. This is what I mean. So you need an indicator system like this, like the RSI, red. There would have been your entry point. There, look.
In the Philippines, a grenade was thrown through the window. It killed
then gold. Again, your entry point on gold. In there, look, right there. Both went the way to what they usually would. This pre-market, pre-open, we would usually take these trades. This is now the markets. You know, with the news, the war has gone the opposite way. You know, we would have done this at half an hour before New York and done these exact same trades. And then we would have switched for the open. Now you don't do that at the moment. We'll go back to that. But this is how, as scalpers, as fundamental traders, you've got to learn to read the markets, backtest what's going on in the world, and have some kind of system, like our RX trading system, to help give you that edge.
Raul told me that he'd never remarried. He'd told me that he'd...
Well happy with that. Like I say, to do 30 odd trades in 30 minutes, all winners. You know, we're up a lot, so it's been a great day scalping. I want to do a short stream because, you know, this is what it's all about at the moment. Is we're not hanging around trading for 6-7 hours a day like we've done in the past at the moment, because the volatility. We left in a trade, and as we saw earlier, gold has dropped the floor, and most people wouldn't have had an idea why. We did, we knew, and we jumped in on it. So we're just focusing on the opens at the moment. London, steering away from Asia right now until things settle down. And this is what you've got to do. This is when you become a pro trader, is learning when not to trade. There is trades every day, but at the moment they're hard to find the most accurate ones. And trading the true scalping like this, we're in and out of the market, not setting pending orders. No one's seeing our moves. All stealthy. We're in and out. We're catching green. We're out. The safest way of trading right now. Always has been to me. More so with this kind of new. A lot of traders out there wanting to bother trading this, know what to do. So we've got that edge. I see it. So well done.
Just this really weird time in the Philippines history. It was during a crazy election that was racked with allegations of fraud.
That's what true scalping.
Kind of love-hate relationship with America. They loved obviously the American aid and finances that was pouring into the country, but at the same time they yearned for independence. They wanted to be their own country.
That's what you got to do. 30 minutes. You could do an hour a day. 30 minutes for London, 30 minutes for New York.
He hated the number fever campaign. Del Fierro thought Pepsi's number fever campaign.
That's it. That's your day done. Go and enjoy your day.
Ways that America was asserting its dominance over a third world country. He hated seeing his fellow countrymen get ripped off in his eyes by this huge.
So next live stream going to be NFP Friday, our favourite scalping day, and let's hope it goes as smoothly as this and we get some big results away from whatever they're predicted, which is usually do, because Bloomberg always usually get it wrong. One always usually gets it wrong at the moment, so that is our benefit. That's good. So a couple of days of normal doing the opens with the group and the team. Like I say, if you want to join our group, then go to the website www.mohawkforex.com. All the information is on there on how to join our VIP Discord trading group and get the team mentor you, and you get access to the system while you stay in the group. You learn how to become a true scalper. And like I say, we will be back on Friday or NFP. Like, we'll start an hour before. We'll watch the price action.
He flew to America.
And we will see what results we get, and a bit of fun with it, and see what we can. Again, thank you for joining. It's been a real pleasure as always, and I hope people get benefits from this and just show you a different side of trading, that you can do this quick scalping technique if you've got the right system and you fundamental led. That's the about the fun. Anyway, thank you again for joining me, and give me a like, share and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Like I say, we'll be back again on Friday for NFP Day. Until then, look after yourself and trade safe, and see you on the next live stream.